Bob Simon's career spanned 5 decades. He won more than 40 major awards, including 27 Emmys.
CBS 2's Dana Tyler is here now with a look back. Dana?
Christine and Maurice, Bob Simon traveled the globe to cover some of the biggest stories of our time. CBS News President David Rhodes calling Simon a giant of broadcast journalism. A Bronx-born globetrotter, Robert David Simon, joined CBS News in 1967. He soon became a foreign correspondent, filing thousands of reports from the far-flung corners of the earth. But it all began in Vietnam.
We're going to pick up an American. All we know about him is that he's at Firebase Andrews and that he's been hit by shrapnel.
In 1987, he was named Chief Middle East Correspondent, reporting on conflict in the region for over 20 years. He witnessed Egyptian President Anwar Sadat's first visit to Jerusalem.
Will miracles never cease?
Covered Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin's assassination.
Sadness beyond words.
Simon ended up being part of the story in 1991, covering the Gulf War, when Iraqi forces captured him and his crew. For 40 days, they were imprisoned, beaten, starved, and threatened with death.
Just changed you?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. Too early to tell.
But Simon remained fearless. His CBS News colleague Scott Pelley describes his friend's unwavering courage.
I think it was a sharp intolerance for injustice. Bob had equal opportunity rage for any oppressor in the world, and he wanted to give voice to the voiceless and dedicated his whole career to that.
Simon's career transformed into doing longer-form reports on 60 Minutes. Viewers and reporters alike learned from his skill of storytelling and the grace of his words and versatility.
Before long, Armand's house became a makeshift conservatory. Armand was the dean. Every room, every corridor, no matter how small or dark or stifling, was teeming with sound.
He helped us understand the language of elephants.
These fearsome noises are actually elephants greeting one another. Glad to see you. Come a little closer.
Simon is survived by his wife, Francoise, and their daughter, Tanya, a producer for 60 Minutes. Father and daughter worked together often, and her son was the apple of his eye.
Something changed in Bob when he had a grandson. He was obsessed. And there was something that got him, right in the heart about having this little guy. And he couldn't wait to leave and go see him.
His friend of 30 years, Jeff Fager, 60 Minutes executive producer, says Bob Simon would go anywhere for a story and set the standard that other journalists followed. Bob and his daughter Tanya were working on a report on the Ebola virus and the search for a cure. That story airs this Sunday on 60 Minutes. Simon also leaves behind, as I said, his wife, Francoise, Tanya, her husband, Dr. Evan Garfine, and that little boy, the grandson, Jack. Bob Simon was 73 years old. Tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll look at the stories Bob did right here in New York. Christine, Maurice?
You know, Dana, I was looking for a word to try to describe him all day, and I think you nailed it with grace, right? Because you knew his reporting was so passionate and so... It came from a very strong place, but it came out with such grace. The writing, the pictures, the whole delivery, his whole persona, grace, over and over again.
Knowing the use of silence and the use, you can say a lot with few words.
That's right.
And we learned from him. We learned so much from him.
One of these people you wanted to be like, starting out in the career, and even to this day.
I was nervous when I saw him in the halls all the time.
I know.
I was like, Mr. Simon.
Major respect.
How fortunate were we?
We were, weren't we?
Yeah. Thank you, Dana. Scott Pelley will also have much more on the passing of his friend and colleague coming up at 6:30 on the CBS Evening News.